Here's an introduction to hand tufting using a needle punch. First of all, you'll need some fabric. This should be quite an open fabric to allow for the needle to go through the open weave of the backing fabric. Next, you'll need a frame. This could be a wooden frame with some carpet gripper around the edge. Or it could be as simple as an embroidery hoop, but you'll need some scrap fabric to go around the hoop to ensure that your fabric is tight in the hoop. Next is a needle punch and a threader. And then some scissors, a marker pen and some yarns or wool to work with. Next, you need to prepare your frames. So if you're going to use an embroidery hoop, you'll need some scrap strips of fabric to go around the hoop as shown here. Make sure you go all the way around, and this will ensure that your backing fabric sits tightly inside that hoop. So this is how to prepare your backing fabric in the hoop. Adjust the screw so that your hoop opens and your fabric sits nice and tight inside there. Once your frame's tight, you want to give your fabric a bit of a pull around the edges. This will ensure that this fabric is really taut inside that hoop. If you're using a wooden frame with the carpet gripper, just place your fabric over the gripper and just adjust and pull from each side to make sure that that fabric is sits nice and tight on that frame. Keep just adjusting it until it's really tight in the middle of the frame. Next, you can use a permanent marker to draw your design onto the fabric. This is going to allow you to work more easily when tufting. If you're using a wooden frame with the carpet gripper, you'll need some material to go over the small spikes that come through the end of your fabric, just to protect your arms while you're working. So to thread up your needle punch, use a needle threader to go up through the needle, up to the base of the handle. Grab your wool and thread that through the metal threader. Then pull the threader down along the shaft of the punch so it comes out of the needle at the bottom, and then thread the eye with the wool. So then once you're all threaded up, you're ready to start punching. So you can follow the pattern that you've already drawn onto your fabric, and here is demonstrated how to use the tool. So you just punch the needle through the weave of the fabric, and it only just comes above the fabric once you've punched in. So you work away from the punches that you've already done, moving forwards. This is the underside view. And you just raise it slightly off of the fabric, move it forward and punch into the next hole in your fabric. This then creates the tuft with the wool. While you're working, you need to make sure that the wool is always free and loose and that it doesn't get caught up in any of your workstation or around your hand. The yarn needs to be loose all the time in order to allow it to flow freely through the handle. So this is just a shot using the other frame. So this is the frame with the carpet gripper. I guess it allows you to just do a larger sample, but an embroidery frame obviously is easier to carry around with you. So as you can see, the needle hardly lifts off the fabric and it just moves slightly ahead each time. So again, a shot from underneath. So this is actually the right side. The side that you work on is the back. You can see the tufts being formed there. So once you've finished, you just snip off your yarn to free it from your handle and your needle punch. And then all the yarn ends that are on the back of your fabric will then need to be secured with some latex. If you're just doing a sample for sketchbook reasons or just a small sample, then a PVA backing should be fine, but larger samples will need to be latexed. As mentioned before, the part of the fabric that you work on is the back of the fabric, so you'll need to keep turning it over to see what it looks like on the other side. So once you turn it over, you'll be able to see the pile and the tufts of it, and you'll be able to work out where you need to work into or rectify. You can also cut into tufts, you don't have to fill the whole space either, as you can see on this sample. So you can experiment with using different things that can go through your punch needle. There's a small sample here that's used stuff like ribbon and lace. I think there's an old washing line in there and some t-shirt yarn. So you can be really experimental with what you put through the needle. And there's a quick introduction to hand tufting. Have fun!